something new, learn something new. Welcome to your digital classroom. I am Saji Kevi and you are watching my channel, The Eureka. Act 4, Scene 1. This scene is known as the trial scene, in which we find Shylock pleads his case before the court. The first part of the trial scene deals with how Duke pleads before Shylock to show mercy on Antonio, and Shylock denies the request of the Duke. The second part of the scene, you find Portia comes as the disguised lawyer and Nerissa as disguised clerk to save Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. And Portia succeeds in saving Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. This scene takes place in the court of justice in Venice. Antonio is standing before the jury, and other persons like Bassanio, Gratiano, Celerio, and other attendants of court. Duke, what? Is Antonio here? Well, is Antonio present in the court? Antonio, ready? So please your grace. Yes, your lordship, I am ready. Duke, I am sorry for thee. Thou art come to answer a stony adversary, an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity, void and empty from any dream of mercy. I feel really sorry for you, Antonio, because you have come to defend yourself against a hard-hearted human being, a hard-hearted man, Shylock. He is an inhuman wretch, a merciless man, incapable of showing any pity on others, and without the lightest quality of mercy in him. He is a merciless man. Antonio, I have heard your grace hath taken great pains to qualify his rigorous cause. I have heard you have taken great pain to moderate the strict proceedings of the court. That is to say, Duke tries to save Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. Duke requested Shylock to show mercy on Antonio. Duke was willing to adjourn the proceedings of the court, and Duke also sought the help of Dr. Valerio to solve this case. Thus, Duke has gone beyond his right as a judge there to solve this case, as Duke wants to save Antonio. But since he stands obdurate that no lawful means can carry me out of his enemy reach, I do oppose my patience to his fury, and am to suffer with the quietness of spirit the very tyranny and rage of his. Since he is obstinate, since he is unwilling to change his demand for the pound of flesh, I know I cannot be saved by any legal way. But it does not matter. I am prepared myself to meet his fury, and I am spiritually even prepared to suffer his tyranny and anger with the quietness of spirit. Antonio has resigned himself to his fate. He has prepared himself to meet the fury and anger and tyranny of Shylock. Duke, go on and call the Jew into the court. Somebody go out and ask the Jew to come into the court. Celerio, he is ready at the door. He comes, my lord. He is waiting at the door and he is coming to the court. Duke, make room. Let him stand before our face. Make way for Shylock to enter, and let him stand in front of the jury. Shylock, the world thinks, and I think so, that thou but leadest this fashion of thy malice to the last hour of act. Then it is thought, thou showest thy mercy and remorse more strange than is thy strange apparent cruelty. Everyone in the world thinks, and I also think, that you will continue to show your cruelty at the last moment. Then it is thought you will show pity and remorse more strangely than your apparent cruelty. At the last moment, you will change your mind on account of your pity and remorse for him. Where thou now extract the penalty, which is a pound of this poor merchant's flesh, thou wilt not only lose the forfeiture, but touched with the human gentleness and love, forgive a mighty of the principle, glancing an eye of pity on his losses, that have late so huddled on his back, enough to press a royal merchant down, and pluck commiseration of his state from brassy bosoms, rough hearts of flints, from stubborn Turks and Tartars, never stained to the office of tender courtesy. We will expect gentle answer from you, Shylock. Now, you will show pity and sympathy for Antonio, seeing the losses that Antonio has suffered on account of the losses of his merchant ships in the sea. And therefore, out of your pity and regret for him, you will give up your claim for the penalty of 1 pound of flesh of this merchant. And moreover, touched by human tenderness and gentleness, you will give up even a small amount of the principal amount that Antonio borrowed from you. Seeing such losses suffered by a man, even Turks and Tartars, who are considered to be the most uncivilized human beings on earth, will show pity and sympathy on him. The Turks and Tartars, who are hard-hearted men, whose hearts are as hard as brass, whose hearts are made of stone, who are stubborn, who are never trained to show any act of kindness, will show pity and sympathy on Antonio in such a condition. So, will you not show any pity and sympathy on Antonio? We expect a gentle answer from you, Shylock. Shylock, I have possessed your grace of what I purpose. I have informed you of my intention, and by a holy Sabbath have I sought to have the due and forfeit of my bond. Moreover, I have taken an oath by Sabbath, the sacred day of Jews, that I will have nothing but the bond, a pound of flesh of Antonio. If you deny, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. And if you deny my right, let danger fall upon your freedom and the act that gave Venice freedom. You will ask me why I rather choose to have a way to carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats. If you ask me, why do you want to have a pound of rotten flesh instead of 3,000 ducats? My answer is this, that it pleases me. I like that rotten pound of flesh more than the 3,000 ducats. Is it not answer? What if my house be troubled with a rat, and I be pleased to give 10,000 ducats to have it banned? What does it matter to you if I spent 10,000 ducats to kill a rat that troubled my house? What are your answers? Is this answer not sufficient? That is to say, why do you want to worry about the money that I am going to receive? Some men, there are not gaping pig. Some that are mad if they behold a cat. And others, when the bagpipe sings in the nose, cannot contain themselves. Now, you see, some men have an aversion for roasted pig. Some men go mad when they see domestic cat. Some others lose their self-control when they hear a bagpipe sings. For affection, mistress of passion, sways to the mood of what it likes or loathes, because personal inclination rules and directs our emotion to like or dislike something. There is no special reason for some people to hate the roasted pig. Some people go mad just because they see a domestic cat. No reason can be given for their action. In the same way, I cannot give you any reason for my action. That is to say, my personal inclination is this, that I want to have that rotten flesh. And then, now for your answer. As there is no firm reason to be rendered why he cannot abide a gaping pig, why he a harmless necessary cat, why he a woolen bagpipe. So here, just like one cannot give any reason for the dislike of some people towards the roasted pig. Some people become mad when they see the cat. Some people lose their self-control when they hear the bagpipe sings. No reason can be given for their actions. Therefore, I cannot give any specific reason for my action. And here, moreover, but of course, must yield to such an inevitable shame so as to offend himself being offended. But when he himself is offended, he is compelled to act in a shameful manner. In other words, Antonio insulted Shylock very many times, and therefore Shylock is compelled to act in an insulting manner. Antonio revenged Shylock. Therefore, Shylock wants to take revenge on Antonio. And again, so can I give no reason, nor I will not more than lodged hatred and a certain loathing I bear Antonio that follow thus a losing suit against him. Now here, I cannot give you any specific reason for my action. I have a deep-rooted hatred against him, and I dislike him. I follow a legal case in which I lose my money. In other words, Shylock wants to say that he wants to have the pound of flesh of Antonio because it pleases him. Secondly, Antonio insulted him at public places. Therefore, he is compelled to act in a shameful manner so as to offend him. Moreover, he has deep-rooted hatred against Antonio. You answered. Is this answer sufficient for you to understand my demand for the pound of flesh of Antonio?